Well, it's the time of year again when everyone is making New Year's resolutions to get fit, lose weight, give up smoking, or whatever you're at yourself. You probably broke them by now. But it's also the perfect time to do something positive and get your finances in order. Financial advisor Paul Merriman of AskPaul.ie is here with tips for putting your money woes right in 2022 and beyond. And by God, I don't know about anybody else, but I need a bit of help this year. Paul, thank you very much for joining us today. Happy belated New Year to you.
Yes, very belated. But look, you're right, everyone makes resolutions, don't they? And it's good to have this segment now at the end of January, just before we get into February, to check in and make sure everybody is still on track with them as well. That's really important because I think you start off January with loads of hopes. Usually by the time you get to this time of the month, most of them are forgotten about or they're failed. And
you start off January broke as well, so at least most people will be paid now so you can make a plan.
It is. Like, dead right, it's a very long month for people, a 5-week month. And then especially that people are probably paid in the middle of December as well.
Yep.
So we're over the hurdle and we're going to talk about, I suppose, the best things to do with your finances if you're looking to make them really work for you in 2022.
Because I suppose if you sit down and you're quite concise and realistic about what your ingoings are, what your outgoings are, you can make a fairly decent personal budget. What are your tips for that?
Yeah, well, the main thing is head over to the website or the Instagram page, Ask Paul, and download the free personal budget template. We'll track all those ins and outs and see where you are. Main thing you want to do here is cut stuff you don't no longer use. I mean, you've seen the early segment, the cost of living going up and how expensive it's getting, and even energy prices and the emergency €100 going to people's accounts. So it's very important that you cut back on where you can and switch. I can't say this enough to people, especially in January. So make sure you're going to switch your utility bills. Your mortgage is a massive one. If you have a mortgage already and it's not on a tracker rate or if you're already a fixed rate, you need to switch. You could be saving tens of thousands of euro over the course of the mortgage.
We're very hesitant to switch, aren't we, Irish people? We're very loyal to whatever bank or healthcare or whatever.
I don't think it's loyalty. I think it's laziness. I'm going to call it out. I really do. Because I don't
you know what? You're probably right. Couldn't be botheredness.
Yeah, it's loyal. It's not loyal. And as well as that, the banks, the insurance companies, the utility providers, they're not loyal to you. So don't be loyal back. Make sure you switch all the time. And that's really important when you go through the personal budget template to make sure you do that. And it's the biggest tip I can give anybody.
So if you switch, like, whatever your utilities are, you switch your mortgage, which might seem huge.
Yes.
Like, psychologically, it's a big thing to do. Once you have your mortgage, you tend to grab onto it. But you can save quite a lot per year.
Thousands over the lifetime of the mortgage with lower interest rates. And I think there's a lot of talk about interest rates going up in the near future. I think now in the marketplace might actually be the cheapest time for people to secure long-term low interest rates. Because I think they're going to get more expensive in 2023 and then onwards. So really encourage people to try and switch if they can. And it's not as hard as people think. When you buy your first house, people think, because you have to find the property, maybe get a builder, bidding wars, move into the house. It's a very stressful time. But once you're in your house, you know, you're there. You don't have to do anything. Just grab a bit of paperwork for someone like us to change for you.
So you make your personal budget, know what your ingoings and outgoings. You can download that. Next is know your taxes. Now, that's an interesting one because does laziness come into account here or is it a lack of knowledge?
I think lack of knowledge, and I'm not going to say lazy. I think it is lack of knowledge. These are things that we should be taught in school, you know. But the revenue are really good. I think everyone thinks they're the big bad wolf. They're really good. If you ring them up and ask them a question, they're extremely helpful. So everybody who's a PAYE worker should have access to what's called the My Account section on revenue. So you can go on to revenue.ie, head to My Account, and you can go back over the last 4 years and claim stuff back, medical expenses, etc. And you can do everything there. And it's a very easy system to use. And there's any first-time buyers thinking of getting on the property market this year, they should be going there to make sure they register for the Help to Buy. If they're going to buy a new build, they can get tax back over the last number of years to help them towards a deposit. There's loads of really cool things you can do there to make sure you're getting your money back. And like I said, they are extremely helpful in revenue. So if you have any queries or something that's a little bit weird for you, ring them, they'll help you out and they get you over the line.
And now, I suppose before you start buying anything or investing or any of that sort of stuff, you have to get rid of the debt you have first, because sometimes you might think, oh no, it's better off if I invest. Don't get rid of anything hanging over your head.
Yeah, this is a big one for people because people think when, let's say you have a car loan or a personal loan, you could be paying 6 to 8% per annum in interest rates to the lender, okay? If you have money in the bank earning 0%, or especially even in the credit union, you find people getting 0% in the credit union, they might have a loan outstanding. So they're basically borrowing their own money back. So take the money, clear the loan. And as well as that, you shouldn't be investing because if you have extra cash, you need to pay down that money that's costing you 6 or 8%. because you're going to have to get 10 to 12% to try and match that cost.
Because some people are like, oh, it's good to have savings, it's good to have savings. You're throwing money down the drain,
No,
really.
The only thing everybody needs, in my opinion, if you have money, like I said, in a credit union or bank and you have a loan, is leave €1,000 of a buffer for yourself, which is like what's called an emergency fund. So to make sure you always have that emergency fund in place. And again, to kind of top up the emergency fund, everybody, I always say this when I'm on the show, but everybody in the country needs an income protection plan, because if you don't get covered by work for being out long-term sick, you need something like an income protection plan.
So long-term is over 3 months, because a lot of employers will cover up to that.
Yeah, so it's usually over 12 weeks for the majority of people. It can be 26 weeks as well if you feel you're really financial secure, so you can pick the product that suits yourself best. But the premiums are tax deductible, so you're getting tax relief. Yes, up to 20 or 40% reducing. So it's really, really clever idea. And it costs pittance if you consider that you could probably protect your income of maybe up to 30, 40, 50, 60 grand, whatever your income is. You can protect it up to age 65. So if anything does go wrong, you're not relying on the state. And you still get the state benefit, but it's pittance. Like, I wouldn't cover anyone's rent, never mind mortgage these days. So it's really, really important. If you don't get covered in work, and especially if you're self-employed, because self-employed people go out and work sick, they're gone maybe in a couple of weeks, couple of months. So that with the emergency fund is how you structure yourself. And if all that's sorted, you need to start looking at investing. Because we mentioned, I mentioned in the previous segment, the cost of living. If you've got that money sitting in the bank earning 0%, and the cost of goods and around, you're going up by 5.5%, or insurance are higher, or house prices are higher, you're literally, money's melting away in front of you.
When we're thinking of investing, though, my head just explodes, because I'm thinking, stock markets and shares and all that sort of stuff. Is that what we're looking at here? Is the more practical things you can do?
Yeah, we have developed the Ask Paul Investment Club, where I invest on a monthly basis. Thousands of people signed up for the last couple of years. All the information is on our Instagram page, but it's really good. We use a fund that's been around for the last 30 odd years. It's a phenomenal fund. It's done really, really well for investors. Over 11%, I think, per annum on average. It goes up and down now because it is linked to stocks and shares. But on average, over that 30-year period, it's performed phenomenally, especially over the last 10 years. But if you're looking to invest, then you need to make sure that you don't want access to that money for at least 3 to 5 years. So it's important, if you know you're getting married next year, you have something coming up, and that's why we developed the Ask Paul Saving Challenge. And there's 2 challenges. Again, they're all on the Instagram page. But there's the first challenge for beginners, which shows you how to save €1,378 this year. Okay, so we'll start in the first week of January.
How does that work? So
week 1, you put €1 aside. The following week, you put €2, then €3, €4, and just slowly build up your savings. So you can start today and just put €15 aside into credit union, jar in the house, open a second kind of online savings account for yourself, and just every week just start an extra euro, an extra euro, an extra euro, and it gets you up to 1,378. So it's a great way for someone who's never saved before or has failed. I have thousands of people on Instagram challenging their friends, their buddies, their partners, their spouses, and they're doing them together and they're checking in.
And it's a nice little nest egg at the end of the year. It's your buffer zone in a bit.
Exactly, it is. And then we have, and I'll try and explain, this one's a bit more difficult. It's on the Instagram page, like I said. It's how to save €5,000 over the year. Okay, just that one obviously higher amount. So you need to put €250 aside today if you want to get involved with that. But if you have a couple, that could be 10 grand saved by the end of the year. So if you save for houses or weddings, etc., it's a great place to start.
Paul, as always, a joy talking to you. You make things very simple for us all here who might know much about money anyway.